What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome, everybody, to Division X Showdown here in our NA afternoon, EU evening. This is going to be an important matchup for us to show on SplatoonTourney. My name is Kyon. With me on the other side, I got it in the wrong direction. It is over there. The very own Los Inklings, Hammy. Hammy, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, we're in the middle of a heat wave, and I'm in Canada, so we're not used to it. So I'm dying a little bit, but it's been a good day so far. I'm really excited to see some good Splatoon matches. You know, we have a Div X match here, so this is the upper echelon of Ludi this season. So I'm excited to see what these teams can bring out for us today.
Yeah, and we got two teams. This is almost an important matchup in general, not just for both teams involved, because we got Firebend versus Golden Hour. Record here is that Firebend's 2-1, Golden Hour 4-0, undefeated in throughout this regular season. For Firebend, they are 2-1. If they win, they're still within range to Black Lotus, who has just wrapped up their season 4-1 in second place. Lose here, and I think if I have to double check the playoff calculations there, they would be mathematically out from that group. So a lot of things online for Firebend, and of course for Golden Hour, looking for the perfect 5-0 season. For Golden Hour, running just a 4-man roster. Firebend has a lot of players on their team here. Hammy.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players here, but sometimes that can be to their benefit because they have a wider range of weapons to pick from for certain maps and modes, and maybe they have a lot of specialties that, you know, Golden Hour might not be able to accommodate to with just a roster of 4. But on the other hand, Golden Hour with that roster of 4, they've played a lot more together, and they might just be more solid than what Firebend can bring. So it's an interesting a tactic that both teams are bringing to the table.
Yeah, and as you know, there too, running 4-man, you don't have room for substitution there. Firebend will be able to get a good read on your team, at least for the same 4 players they have now. All that being said, we got our maps here for this pivotal Week 5 matchup here, kicking things off in Game 1 in Robo Ramen Zones. Hammy, your thoughts on this map in particular?
Personally like Ramen Zones, but I'm biased because I play Reflux and Buckets. So it's perfect for me. They got the angles. It's a very narrow map that has a wide underside for a lot of movement for flanks and just for a lot of interesting plays that can come out. So a lot of weapons can work here because you can run the high paint weapons. You can run ledge campers like the swords and rollers and buckets. And I think that this map and mode could be a good playground for these teams to kind of run whatever they feel like running and whatever they're most comfortable with. And it'll be a very telling match for the coming set.
I've seen a lot of weapons ran out here. It usually involves the Reef Slider special there as well, so I can definitely get some of it. I've casted a very unfortunate matchup where I saw a handful of Reflux Decos. Heaven forbid I see one of these teams, for the record, actually play it out there, but that's something to keep in mind. I think you run a huge point though. Of course, you're biased because you mentioned before running a few buckets of your own, but I think with the way this map is kind of shaped up and the fact that zones are in the middle, I think this also lends itself to really strong lockout positioning there as well, if any team can take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure. This map, because you have to remember, once you get past the enemy glass, you have high ground. You're in their base and you have high ground. That's a very tricky spot to be in when the enemy team is counting down on that zone and you're trying to find some way to get out. But the map does offer that bottom left to have someone go into the zone and kind of distract the enemy team while you try to push out. So it will be a test as to how well these teams can coordinate, how well they can hold out, if they can break out of those holdouts. And I think it's I wouldn't call it like a balanced map, but it's a very good indicator of which team is going to be playing it better.
And especially with these two teams here, both in Division X, probably some of the strongest teams we're going to have here on the board. Of course, Golden Hour looking for that 5-0 Firebend 2-1. A lot of teams here. If I actually get the notes here quickly on Firebend, consisting of teams across many different teams such as New Meta, Enlightenment, and Light, Uprising, and Enrage. It's like just a combination of so many different players on the board, a lot of experience. So and considering that Ramen Zones, at least from my perspective, gets ran a lot across not just Ludi but also in other tournaments as well. There's going to be some level of familiarity that both teams are going to bring. Thanks for bearing with us, everybody. We're about to kick off this Division X match in style. Of course, Firebend's going to be on your alpha side, and then on the other side will be Golden Hour. We take a look at the weapons. What strikes out to you, Hammy?
I'm looking right at this carbon roller here. It's, like I said, it's those ledge camping weapons, the weapons that are very aggressive, be able to use that lower half of the map and show up behind you when you least expect it. And hopefully they should be able to do a lot. As we already have one going down, the gal on the side of, I believe that is Firebend or Golden Hour. I've already lost track which team is which, as they're just, yeah.
I'll get you covered here while you get everything all sorted out here. Golden Arrow is going to be on the purple side, Firebend on yellow as we need to get some things refreshed here. Misa's going to be the one that's going to be lurking large. They got that Inkjet at Isville, which just got popped on that left hand side, but they lose the Zap, they lose the Zuka, they lose everybody in the process. Golden Arrow takes 3 down just on top of it here. Hammy, kind of a very intriguing fight there, but Golden Arrow still retains coverage of the zone.
Yeah, Golden Hour does keep that zone there. I'm able to get 3 out on Firebend. And unfortunately, the last one, the Carbon Roller, not in a good position to kind of maybe try to make that play. They had to just walk back and respect the space as they do go down. And now Golden Hour taking the very important position, as I said, that high ground next to that glass, trying to keep Firebend from really doing anything with 20 ticks left till they take the game.
Yeah, 20 ticks left to go until they take advantage, and they had 3 specials that were around, but they got the trip strikes, but it's going to be 2 quick members down. This is going to be a quick 100-0 here from Golden Hour and Firebend, unless they can throw out all the paint on that zone, which they are not able to. Golden Hour holds well on defense, and kicking things off here in map number 1, Golden Hour takes map 1, for that matter, in this best of 9.
Yeah, and that's not the position you want to be in if you're Firebend. I mean, it's a long set, there's 9 games, but you want to take every chance that you can get in having that first game go 100-0 really quick. That's a big momentum piece for Golden Hour to try to push that lead and just continue to run through them. And as we've seen before, Golden Hour is undefeated this Ludi season. So Firebend have a tall task in front of them, and they really want to take a game off of this team that managed to take down a Titan of Black Lotus just last week.
Yeah, Golden Hour took out Black Lotus just this past week for sure. And we take a look at the few replays, pretty much just total control across the board. There were 3 specials that I know there: the Crab Tank, the Bubble, and the Trip Strikes were all used up. Ultimately, not really needed in the grand scheme of things, as they were able to win out some of the fights in that zone. And you alluded to this piece before there, Hammy, about this being a momentum start. This is a very good start for Golden Hour altogether here, because you mentioned for 100-0. On the losing end for Firebend, that could easily be the flame for you. I'd imagine, Hammy, coming into game 2 with Crab Lake Capital Clams, I know you're focused on having to switch over to a different map mode. Now you're going to have to get yourself reset and try to recover from that 100-0 loss.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's a long set. It's all about, and these DivX teams, they have the momentum, so this isn't going to be a case where one team will run out of steam. But if you're Firebend, you have a little bit of leeway to kind of get back in this, but you want to do it as fast as possible. You don't want Golden Hour to get a 3 or even a 4-0 lead above you before you start taking those games. Especially where Golden Hour, they're set for playoffs. Like they're at the top of the group right now. They're just on stream to show off and have fun. Firebend need to prove themselves, especially I believe Firebend's both of their wins are buys. They haven't been able to prove themselves this season. They've had too many weeks where there's just no matches. So they really need to, especially on stream here where everyone's watching, is prove themselves, show that they deserve to be in Division X, and try to tie for top cut and make it to the playoffs.
You mentioned there too, Firebend 2-1 in that regard. I think they did actually, if they did play Frutella in game 1, Frutella would have of course dropped a little later in the season as I progressed. Monaco, as you noted there too, was another effective buy there. The last time they played from that one loss was on stream here on SplatoonTourney, where they lost 5-3 to Black Lotus. So it's your time to show that you can prove that you can still make it to second place there and still be in contention with Black Lotus. We take a look at the weapon still coming into this one, pretty much almost exact same. I think just if I'm not mistaken, the Tri-Slash might be a little bit different, but otherwise we're fundamentally talking about the same comps that we saw from game 1.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is you see that Golden Hour doesn't bring a soda in. It's a very prominent specialty, especially in this higher level gameplay. So we're going to see if Golden Hour doesn't think they need that soda. They think they can just win the fights outright, as they already do take down the Gal on the side of Firebend, both putting a Crab on top mid. They're already 2 down on Firebend. Golden Hour is walking in with the Clam. It does get shut down by someone up in the top right, as the Carbon walks in now, as takes a couple of picks, and that might be a wipe on Golden Hour if they can get this last charger.
Yeah, they can get that last charger there too. Brock had a lot of paint to work with there with that Carbon Roller, and is just able to get a few flicks in and get 2 more. And with the way that push was quickly developing there for Golden Hour, they got that Power Climb all set and ready to go, trying to move up to the ramp, but to no dice. That's good for Firebend though, because hey, this is a little nice recovery there after recovering from that 100-0 loss. But that's also not the start you necessarily want to have. It's already 2 down from Firebend's side, and they're gonna make this into 3. Could be a delayed wipe. The Zaps likely has likely retreated here. Just the cooler that is available though, so they still can play a little bit more aggressive on defense if they need to, but they gotta keep the members up. Ballpoint going down is not gonna help matters.
Firebend did indeed shut down that early push, but Golden Hour now breaking the basket, getting the first score in this game, only a minute and 20 seconds in. Though Golden Hour does go down 3, so Firebend does keep it at just a 1 Power Climb, a 1 Clam push. Unless this Tri-Slosher, no, they cannot make it in. They tried to just brute force it. Though, yeah, if you're Firebend, you've minimized the damage, but you still need to control the map, control the clams, and be able to make a push of your own if you want to stay in the set.
It's a very, very good point there too. I mean, again, that damage could have been so much worse there if that try was able to get a lot more in. But at the grand scheme of things, just 1+1. Again, if you're a Firebend, you're gonna be very happy with that Golden Hour, especially on your front. Your least strike first, try to build up on that momentum there as well. 52 Gal, by the way, going down on the side of Firebend. They're still trying to reroute the right-hand side. Vin's still trying to fight against Punchy. Punchy might get the better end of this one unless Vin's able to outmaneuver them, which they cannot at that point in time. Punchy wins out that duel, and now once again, Golden Hour still trying to move up front, but there's Punchy on the side with the Crab Tank, takes out 1, but they do lose 2 members of their own. There's not going to be much firepower left on this push if they can make it happen. Brock takes Punchy out of the Crab Tank, in fact, shuts them down, and this is a successful hold from Firebend. Again, a push that could have easily been more devastating against Firebend. Firebend holds on nicely.
Firebend here with a great defense, though once again, offense is still part of the game. They do have a Power Clam and 1 extra Clam. They have enough to tie it, but they want to get more Clam economy on top of this this push up here if they want to actually start taking a lead. They have to be very careful because Golden Hour has been showing that they are able to contest what Firebend is able to do. You've seen earlier, Brock on the side of Firebend was ledge camping with that Carbon. They threw a Toxic Mist on it to keep them out, and they're just able to be that 1 step ahead. As Firebend does break, but they do go 3 down, unable to get any clams there. They're on the board, but they're still not in the lead, and now they've given Golden Hour a free Power Clam.
Yeah, free Power Clam for Golden Hour, but again, for Firebend, though, at least cuts the deficit. You now just have 1 Power Clam left. Get the lead wrestled right then and there. But it's exactly what you know there. Where is the offense that Firebend needs there? Golden Hour is able to neutralize them in key moments there. They've gone 2 down. They lost the Zap though too. Cooler option not available, so they're gonna have to. They definitely retreat just then and there. But Golden Hour goes a little too far, and this fight still continues to be a little messy in the grand scheme of things. Their Inkjet's just been popped there by that face name there on top of it, but they're not able to get as much. At least they provide a little bit of pressure there. But Hammy, other than the slap bomb kill that we see, Fireman, there's still plenty of time. But again, what do you think Fireman will need to do to get themselves going and possibly get the lead back?
Well, Firebend, they need to try to control this map, and they need to not get locked in their base. We see Golden Hour a lot is pushed up and in position to create a push at any moment, and Firebend need to try to get that map control. Though it is Clan Blitz, this is a case where Firebend might just need to wait till overtime and just break the basket to get the automatic win. That's a very viable strategy. It's very risky, though, because you need to rely on that ability to get in there with a very short moment's notice.
Yeah, and that's a very valid there part too. Is that's a nice little snipe there. There is Golden Hour still looking to try to expand on that lead. But here's the other thing too. They're 2 quick members down on top of it. They got that Firefin scope, having to retreat just a tiny bit. So did the Tri-Slosher. There's the Zuka that's being fired. There's no value right out of the gate. They're down to 17 seconds left to go on the clock. Aloha is able to get to them from the side, and Fireman does not have many members left. Cooler has been picked up there. Aloha gets the trade. That's going to be an important trade in the grand scheme of things, as there is that power climb that is available though. And here comes the jump. The jump's right there. Are they able to throw it in? No, not quite. It's actually 2 members have gone down. This power climb is going to disappear. It's in a sea of Golden Hour ink, and all the members have gone down. There was a cheeky little sneak there that Fireman tried to do, but they were shut down before they could even cash that in. And Hammy, it's a 2-0 set lead coming up for Golden Hour.
A very unfortunate flank there from Firebend. They got in, they managed to get the jump, but they weren't in range, and Golden Hour is fully expecting that. That is when there's only a couple seconds left in a Clan Blitz game and you're in the lead, you know that someone's going to come from one of your side flanks and just try to get in that desperate last second power clam. So Golden Hour was on top of it. They knew it was coming. They were able to prevent it, and they didn't let Firebend get in there. Though, again, not a convincing game for either team. Only a 3-point lead. That is a 1 clam difference between both teams. So it's a 2-0 lead for Golden Hour right now, but it still can be anyone's set. And Firebend is proving that they are on equal footing with Golden Hour here.
I think it feels like it's a case where both teams were just stuck into this neutral state for what felt like for quite a long time there in the grand scheme of things. So you see Golden Hour still trying to move up, but Firebend's defense was on point on some of that. The other problem though too is that Firebend tried to replicate the exact same success they had, and then they're also being met with how Golden Hour's just been outmaneuvering them. I feel like there's a lot of members you got to note there as well. Punchy being able to win out a few of those fights there on top of it, and then you got the Tri-Slosher as well that just helped neutralize a lot of the members there on that side. So Firebend still their work cut out for them. 2-0. I'd imagine from past experience for you, still 2-0 deficit, still manageable, but the margin of error could start to get thinner and thinner the more the set plays on.
Yeah, and if you're Firebend right now, I think what you want is opportunities. As you mentioned, Firebend's defense very strong right now, but your defense can be really strong. But if Golden Hour gets 5 attempts to push and you get 1, they still have a better chance of winning. So Firebend really needs to start winning those fights in mid. They need to be cautious of some of those players. As you mentioned, Aloha, we watched get a 3-for-1 trade towards the end of the game. It's a very important trade, especially with only about 30 seconds left. So you really want to see Firebend creating more opportunities. They need to generate options to get in the enemy base to start to, push them away from an objective. And as we go next to tower control, we're going to want to see something that can hold a tower really strong and not let Golden Hour even come close to touching the tower.
And that's going to be the one thing I'd like to keep an eye on. As we do have a weapon change right out of the gate there. On the other side, there's going to be no weapons change whatsoever from Golden Hour there. We do get the vanilla heavy splat lane there with a lot of movement speed on top of it there too. But I don't mind this pick there. You basically change to a different backline option, of course, with the wave breaker. We'd like to see how that's going to fit dynamically into Firebend setup. Brock quickly goes down though, and Golden Hour again punishes that so heavily there. The grab tank's popped up right on the tower, right out of the gate. Firebend goes 2 down. This first checkpoint might be going down here shortly, Cammy.
Yeah, we can see Golden Hour, again, they're generating these opportunities. They take down the most aggressive weapon in Firebend right off rip so that they aren't able to make any play, and then all 4 members walk forward, putting out the crab, and they took space. They're not letting Firebend get a good footing here, as they're already contesting the second checkpoint, and hopefully Firebend is able to hold this out, and they manage to control their stack, start pushing out Golden Hour. But Golden Hour is happy to retreat here. They got to 33 in less than a minute. They're fine with this push. They're going to wait for the next opportunity to get even more points later.
And again, clearing out that first checkpoint, even though that first checkpoint is pretty easy to clear out, they got past a very tricky part of the map there too. So as you mentioned, they're going to be very happy with that push, and still plenty of time though for both teams to obviously manage an even bigger push, as the cooler's been dished out here right out of the gate for Firebend. Misa's the one that's going to be going through. Now you see 2 members moving right up ahead. They're still trying to figure out ways to get a hold of where Golden Hour is, and you got Brock with those flicks there. They take out Punchy. That's the splash going down. Crafting's going to have to be delayed here for just a few more moments. They gave up this first checkpoint here, too. Tilly is being moved around by the whale. And again, this is a very good response here from Firebend. And the Zook is being thrown out there as well. They do lose a try, and they are still pushing up ahead. That's 2 members down, but the bubble's been popped up, and they may be able to clear this one through, especially with the cooler being dished out.
If you're a Firebend here, you want to have control of the specials. Like you said, you want to kill that crab, which Brock was able to do. You want to get some of your specials on your side as well, though. You want to start seeing those Zookas. You want to start seeing those killer whales those sodas to get you this checkpoint, as they're only 7 points away from taking the lead here, potentially getting their first win of this match. There's still 3 minutes left. It's still a very heavily contested match in this checkpoint, as we see one disappear. I thought they just died, but they just disappeared on the side of Golden Hour, and they're all just holding that checkpoint, trying not to give up that lead.
That's again. Golden Hour knows how to play around that tower, close that second checkpoint. Fireben's gonna have to just reset and try this one once more. They're not able to get as many advantages as they could from that one, but they take out Tiddly. That is the junior going down. Now, I'd imagine if they're able to find any other members here soon, that might be the go button for them to start moving up ahead. Aloha does get a trade though, but they do bring 2 members down on top of it. It's gonna reduce the firepower that Fireben's gonna have here on this push. Punchy's just rolling around with the crab tank there too, just trying to make sure that Fireben is nowhere near in pushing position to make this one count. And there's still a scrappy fight. Golden Hour is having to understand, all right, we gotta hold well on defense, make sure we don't lose the lead. Fireben is playing with a lot of passion at the moment, but right now, Golden Hour, they've held off this push for as long as they could.
And you can see Fireben, they're not giving up space. Fireben were down 2 and Golden Hour had all 4 members, and they didn't take a step back. They were walking forward. They were like, no, we need to control this half of the map. We are playing aggressive. We know we have to try to win this. And they're just not giving Golden Hour the space that they gave them in that first minute of the game where they got that first big push.
Yeah, and the big thing now though is Golden Hour, they got the crab. They planted him in a position where they can just flank around that tower, and that's 2 members already down. That's the 52 and the Vanilla Heavy also going down on top of it. Now Golden Hour can get some of that ink back, but Fireben, they got 2 specials. They got a Zuka, they got a cooler that is available. The Zuka popped right away, but Brock is down to Punchy on that side, and they can only get 2 shots and no Valley right out of the gate there as well. Aloha's able to collapse in on this one, and Fireben is losing members left and right. Punchy with the assist here to take out Vin, as Aloha gets the credit on that one. It is going to be a minute left to go here. Hammy and Golden Hour, after losing some of the space they needed, they found their footing, and Fireben's 2 down right out of the gate.
I gave some advice to Fireben, said to control the specials, but Golden Hour took the advice instead. They took down that Zuka, they threw out the strikes, they brought out the Inkjet, and they just collapsed on Fireben and completely pushed them out of mid. And now Golden Hour, they don't need to push. They just want to poke this tower forward, make it inconvenient for Fireben. As we hear a crab coming out somewhere on the side of the map, we have the Charger on Golden Hour just keeping space, keeping out that heavy so they can't take a good position. And Fireben just can't leave their base right now. There's 30 seconds left, and they're unable to take a single step forward without paying for it.
Yeah. Now the question for Fireben is, where's the response that they're going to need here? They take out the Charger. That's gonna be 1 step closer. But Aloha just catches Brock off guard, and there's 2 down with about 15 seconds left to go. They got a cooler that is available, but they're gonna have to actually place this cooler where everybody else can get it and get everybody moving up ahead if they can do so. But the question is right now, Golden Hour's gonna try to deny that. They throw everybody around that clear where it was placed, and Fireman has gone too many members down at that point in time. And Golden Hour, a little scary there right in the middle of the game where Fireman crawls down to the second checkpoint, not able to get the lead anywho, and Golden Hour is up 3-0 in the set, and Golden Hour is just looking really strong right now with the way the set has progressed.
If you're a fan of Golden Hour, you definitely like watching the end of that game where they turned it into cat and mouse. They were chasing members of Fireben, separating them, making it so they can't form a play and they can't coordinate. You can see towards the end, there was one member who had to run left, one right, and they couldn't stick together, team up and fight, and they couldn't get any valuable specials there. As I said, they had a soda ready, but no good position for it, no time left. And you can see here in the replay, Alola just, controlling that right half of the map, not letting anyone from Firebend walk out. They're able to control their stack. And on Mako Mart, the stacks are such an important part of this map. You need that to control the middle.
And I feel like the way the game has also progressed too, there too, with the way the stacks are placed, you need control of those the entire way through. The other thing too is it feels like with both teams, it's just playing a game, as you mentioned, a Golden Hour playing a little game of cat and mouse, but Firebend in the middle of that game there, they looked like they had some momentum to crawl through, but again, a lot of praise to the defense of Golden Hour just being able to hold firm on that one. Once they got that first push, that lead could have easily swapped super fast there. In favor of Firebend, but they were able to hold themselves strong. Then they got control of the map right afterwards when Firebend just didn't have enough firepower left too, which was just so expertly played. Again, I feel like it shows how both teams are just playing at a high level there in Division X. And now Golden Hour's up 3-0. Hammy, this is going to be a very tough assignment here for Firebend now, because now you're 2 maps away from losing the set. You're not on the board quite yet here. And your fourth map coming up is going to be Manta Maria Rainmaker. Hammy, this is gonna be a map where you don't see this map get played a lot, but now you got to see for Firebend, where are the subs you're gonna pull. You kind of got an idea on how Golden Hour has played, especially with the weapons. Now you got to figure out how to solve that riddle and see how you can get on the map, or get on the board. Excuse me.
Yeah, and as you said, it's very important for Firebend right now. I alluded to this at the beginning. Firebend, it's a long set. Firebend can still come back, but you don't want to start coming back after you're already 3 games down. You have less leeway. It's a bit scarier. And these games have been close. So those of you who are watching on your second monitor, the first game was a complete 100-0, but game 2 was won by 3 points. Game 3 was won by 5 points. These are very close sets. As you see now, both teams coming into Manta Maker on Rainmaker. We're seeing a ballpoint now coming out on the side of Firebend. They decided they wanted to keep that Splatling to use a bit more of an aggressive pick. Whereas actually Golden Hour is subbing to not have the backline instead of bringing out a Squeezer. So two very aggressive movement comps here on both sides.
And I actually really like that choice. I'd imagine for Jay is actually our Charger player on the side of Golden Hour there too. I'd imagine the thought process is, okay, we may not be able to give as much value as we can with the Fire Fin scopes. Let's see what works better for us. Okay, well, let's work with the foil squeezer. There too. Yeah, there's a lot of movement to work around if you for Golden Hour, really for both teams in that front, as both teams kind of just stuck into this neutral position. But going back to the ballpoint, Splat Lane, not a bad choice, especially with the way this map is kind of laid out there. You see a lot of teams really honestly use the ballpoint as much as they do. If you do get Zuka specials, going with trades here. Punchy does take out 1, 2 for 2 on both sides. Both teams, they think, are still hesitating to pick up this Rainmaker until they get a lot of control of the map.
Yeah, both teams here just fighting in the mid, just taking picks back and forth. What I really want to see here is with both these aggressive comps, I want to, see Alola and Brock, these two faster, shorter range, and deadlier weapons on both sides. Both of them need to play very aggressive in the cuts of the map to be able to get behind enemy lines and try to, help their team get some picks. And see 2 go down on Firebend. Golden Hour does take the right checkpoint as they're able to walk through the cut for free. Brock trying to hold it, but unfortunately goes down to a bomb. 1 member left of Firebend, and they also go down, which does make it a delayed wipe. All Firemen has to run in as fast as they can and try to minimize the damage here and get a push themselves later. But it's not looking good as Punchy is just walking this Rainmaker through. They're unable to... Oh, they get all the way to 6 points. Brock unable to get the correct flick because the geometry of the map did not work out in their favor. And Firebend have a tall task here with not even 2 minutes in. They're already down to 6 points.
Oh, yeah, and Punchy was just trying to be a little cheeky, trying to work around the side, and the rest of Fireman was just all over it. But look at the amount of pressure here too that Golden Hour is still dishing out. All the jumps they're just being very opportunistic the entire way through. They know that where Tiddly is for the most part. They're still trying to figure out where they're located. They've invested so much onto them. It's giving Golden Hour a lot of time to work with there, but Tiddly just cannot make the jump on the side. That's very unfortunate in the grand scheme of things. They are wiped out for sure. Firebend lives to fight another day, but as you know there too, it's a tall task. It's 1 point remain. Effective KO is needed if you want to win this map now. If you're Firebend,
you say effective KO. You need a KO. We saw Tiddly unfortunately falling off the side of the map, but what we didn't see before that is a member of Golden Hour jumped across and got the Rainmaker to 1 point. They went from 6 to 1. I didn't think you even noticed that, Kyo, but they managed to get the Rainmaker again, and now Firebend have to get a KO. They do get the first checkpoint, which is very important, but there's only 2 minutes left. They're all holding out the street right now, but none of them are grabbing this Rainmaker. They're waiting for the best opportunity possible. They're playing it safe. They're playing it smart, but they also need to play it fast. They need to outpace this Golden Hour roster.
You're exactly right. They need to outpace this Golden Hour roster. They basically waited for all 4 members to just show up, just try to navigate their way through. But they found themselves in a position where, okay, we wait for the 4th member. Golden Hour was now in position to try to contest, and that just gave Punchy the time to just pop the crab tank. They know when that Rainmaker is going to get popped up there. They're on top of it and then just shuts them down. Rainmaker does reset. Minute 33 left to go. The clock has again. Brock loses the duel to Aloha on the Tri-Slosher. The Brock is still trying to find their way through with the way this map's played out. Again, there's just a cooler that is available from Firebend. But again, if you're Golden Hour, don't be surprised right now. They're just focused on playing defense there. They're down to 1 point remain. They could try to go for a bigger push, but you kind of see here Golden Hour just trying to make sure that Firebend doesn't try to get any more points off of this.
Golden Hour are definitely in a very comfortable situation right now as Firebend is trying to find some kind of footing. With only a minute left, there's no checkpoints left, but you still have to get all the way into their spawn and be able to break that checkpoint. And if you look at Golden Hour, with that Tri-Slosher, they can stop that really easily. They can make you tie at 1 point. It's such a good weapon for stopping. As 2 go down on the left stage for Golden Hour. They only have, it's just a crab left, but they do manage to get around the corner. Firebend has a clear shot to walk through, though the entirety of Golden Hour is respawning right now. So it's not a clean walk, but you need your teammates. As the Punchy comes by, the crab ended. They do manage to flank as no one of Firebend was able to stop the crab. And that is an unfortunate scenario for Firebend. You really want to be able to shut down that crab and regroup as a team, but Punchy just making a solo play, just shutting down Firebend's perfect opportunity there, as there's only 15 seconds left in the match.
15 seconds left in the match. Firebend quickly gained 2 members, going 2 down. They're gonna get a delayed. They're gonna be delayed 3 down. This has to be the pop on top of it, but again, the rest of Golden Hour is just collapsing onto the rest of Firebend. And again, that Rainmaker just isn't gonna get popped. They're just gonna pick it up and just retreat for the hills anyway. And Golden Hour 4-0 with the way this set has progressed. One more to win this set home, and Firebend is looking for the fabled reverse sweep if they want to win this set home. Again, though, Golden Hour has looked incredibly strong from minute 1, and then with that push along, they're like, all right, we are in control now. Firebend has to now get that KO, and they've looked really good as we've seen here.
Not only is not only is Golden Hour looking good right now, but they're comfortable because, as you can see, they've won every single match, and they've gotten every single lead first. They've broken the checkpoints first. They've gotten the first pushes. So Firebend needs to get Golden Hour in a scenario where they're uncomfortable. They need to make it so that they have to panic. Golden Hour has yet to really need to, overthink their plays and start to rush things. They've had a lot of time, a lot of space, and Firebend needs to put a stop to that if they want to make a reverse sweep here and go all the way to game 9.
You've alluded to it exactly well. In the first 4 maps has been Golden Hour taking the lead right out of the gate and just not looking back. But now we're here in Ship Cargo Code Splat Zones. It's one of those maps where people look at it and think there's a Reef Slayer cheese, but I imagine both teams has not shown anything that would constitute anything of that nature. But to that point, if you're Firebend now, you know how Golden Hour has played. You're still trying to figure out holes in this group, but at the same time, you're now 4-0. You have to win every map the rest of the way home. And Golden Hour, with the way they've played so far, has been phenomenal, especially taking control from minute 1. So for Firebend, how do you even kickstart your offense and see how you can get the lead first, make sure you feel like you're in control now at that point?
For Firebend here, it's the opening. We've seen that in these openings, Golden Hour has been much more aggressive. You see Alola is right up in there. That last match, Alola taking the cut and immediately getting onto the bunker of Firebend was very important, whereas I wasn't able to see Brock at the time, but I don't think Brock got such an aggressive position. And the Carbon Roller and the Tri-Slosher, they're kind of the opposing factors here. They are the flankers. They are the ones who go in first. So if you're a Firebend here, you want a strong opening. You want all of your team to push forward, and you want to see Brock. You want to see Brock getting in there and in the face of Golden Hour, and you want to see them getting picks. That's a very important thing. Though we do see a very paint-heavy comp on the side of Firebend here. Maybe being able to support Brock being able to do those aggressive pushes, as we have the 2 buckets in the end zap. And on the side of Golden Hour, though, we do have a Squiffer with the bubble, a 2 bubble comp coming in for Golden Hour, actually. Very, very defensive comp, as they don't want to let Firebend come in.
I kind of like this double bubble comp unironically, excuse the wording there, too, because you're now focused on playing defense there. If you're able to get control of that zone, you're going to just run that one home. Just make sure, all right, now just make sure that Firebend doesn't try to move up ahead. And Firebend gets wiped out right out of the gate here. Golden Hour does go 2 down, but the damage is still going to be taken along here as Firebend. They take out 3 members. That's exactly what you need, but Punchy is now the next boss that's waiting for them, and Punchy is able to just try to maneuver themselves through, but again, more members have gone down left and right, and I like the idea that Golden Hour had just get the first punch in, especially with this double bubble comp, but Firebend had an even better response, and now it's their time to see if they can get the lead back.
Yeah, Firebend did not have a great opening, as I mentioned. They played very passively, Golden Hour very aggressively, and did get that first push to 58. Though Firebend now are 10 ticks away from taking the lead. They didn't get the opening that they wanted, but maybe they can just hold out this neutral and win this mid game, as they do take a lead. 1 member goes down, though Golden Hour, Punchy is stuck in the pit, so can't use that crab for much else, though they are now in a good spot to walk straight into Firebend's base. And Golden Hour does take the zone, but they did lose the lead.
They did lose the lead. This might be a very quick lead flip here. So another delayed wipeout is going to be in play, as now everybody's now plunged up front trying to make sure that they can lock out Firebend from moving themselves up any further. As we do see 2 specials that are available, the Zuka has been popped out as well. They got a cooler that is available for Firebend, and so is the Inkstorm, as the lead is going to change hands here in just a few moments. Will this Zuka find value? That's the important thing. They're still looking for members. Brock is caught flat-footed, goes a little too far, and Golden Hour gets another wipeout, and Firebend is 30 ticks away from getting swept. Golden Hour is now trying to play this one very aggressively, trying to make sure they get that lead. They try to take this one home.
Brock unfortunately did not see Tiddly, I don't think, up on that top point and did get picked out. And with 7 ticks left, oh, maybe there is a neutral flip here. Firemen might be able to tap the zone and keep the game alive and their set alive, and they do. They manage to get the penalty, though 3 of them go down. Misa is the last one alive on Fireman. Does get 2, actually. Misa's just making the solo play. This is what you want to see when you're this desperate. It is a 3rd pick. They're camping a jump to get this last pick, and Firemen just fighting tooth and nail to keep themselves alive there. And shoutouts to Misa for just getting the hits that you need to hit.
Exactly right there. Misa just getting those critical finds there to keep this game alive here for Firemen. They're gonna be out of the penalty points here soon. Well, maybe not, unless Golden Hour has other ideas. They do take out Aloha, but there's barely any ink left. This could have been captured quickly by Golden Hour, but they're not able to get the zones back. And this is now 49 points remain, and now taking along with members going out on Golden Hour's end. All they have is a lone bubble. Punchy's been found out from the side, and this is now Firebend's time to see if they can strike big here, as we do see the jumps coming in. 26 points remain and still counting. They got the ancient that need to be popped here. They take out the Expo, and now the penalty points are enforced. There's 2 members down on the side of Firemen. Golden Hour, things got a little scary. They look like they may have regained control just now.
Yeah, Firebend had great reactions there. They were able to react every time one of them was dropping on them or doing something, and just they held out very strong there. But Golden Hour did eventually find the ticket they needed to get back in, and as now 2 go down on Firebend because of this crab from Punchy that's been strong this whole set so far, and with only 20 ticks left, Firebend needs something, and they need it now.
They need it now for sure. There's going to be 4 points and even more account, but there's just too many members down. They're just trying to forcefully paint over this zone. They force it neutral for at least a few seconds, but it's just going to be too many members down at that point in time. Golden Hour completes not just the sweep over Firebend, the 5-0. They will finish this Ludi regular season 5-0 in their record books, and they will be the first place finisher in Division X Group A to wrap up this week. Congratulations to them. Firebend drops to 2-2 coming into this season.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort from Firebend, but, you know, Golden Hour is that one step ahead, and that's all you need in Splatoon. Splatoon is such a fast, action-packed game that you need to be that one step ahead, or else, you know, you'll just get the sweep. Again, a lot of strong players in Golden Hour. We see here in the replay, Punchy just was a force to be reckoned with. As you mentioned earlier, the final boss on the side there with the crab, and just Firebend didn't, in these 5 games, just didn't have enough time to really just find an answer for what Golden Hour is showing them.
What we saw in all 5 maps here, and I'm pretty sure we both talked about it a lot, is Golden Hour getting the first push and never looking back. This map was the map where they felt like, all right, that lead could easily be slipping us away from here. Excuse me. As with the way Golden Hour has played that one through, I credited that double bubble comp there too. If they had a huge defensive stranglehold, that's going to be much more difficult for Firebend to fight. But Firebend looked like they found a few answers in the grand scheme of things. But again, just a slow crawl up too. How do you deal with Punchy in just that splash, who's been on splash duty across all 5 maps? You're correct. That crab tank was just a problem throughout. Again, a huge credit to the rest of the team there too, with Jay, Aloha, and just trying to remember here, Tiddly as well, who also stepped up with Punchy there. But just the rest of Golden Hour, especially with Punchy, just absolute menaces in their respective weapons there, Hammy. I'm not sure what else we could add there. It was just a perfect showing from Golden Hour, and I gotta commend Firebend just a few moments throughout this set where looks like they're about to call back through, just fell a bit short.
Yeah, and as you say, you know, we're talking about Punchy, but like Aloha got multiple triple kills, I believe, during the set, and it's all of these players on Golden Hour were playing at their peak, and you know, we saw a lot of good things with Firebend. Again, we watched Misa get like a triple kill, and I think like help with like the 4th kill on the zone when they needed it, and they were able to do these things and get back in. And as we mentioned, other than that, you know, that first game, like that was 100-0. That happens. Sometimes it's not your map and mode, but game 2, game 3, they were close sets. Firebend was doing the right stuff. It's just that one extra step ahead. Golden Hour was a bit more in sync, a bit more aggressive. Again, those openings, they were right in their face. And Firebend was, I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if they were like respecting Golden Hour too much, but they needed to walk forward. They needed to get behind them, create the distraction, and just contend what Golden Hour was putting out.
I feel like that just sums up the set too. Is just pure aggression versus trying to be calculating. We kind of saw with how the results played out, which one won out through. But that's going to be it. But yes, that Division X matchup has wrapped up. Once again, Golden Hour 5-0 Firebend to wrap up the season. Really for Golden Hour, Firebend does have one more match they're going to have to play during rescheduling week up ahead. It'll be against Mango Heckmeck. So stay tuned Division X watchers if you are looking out for that one. But Hammy, that's it for both of us. That's our only that's the only cast that we got for this afternoon. We do have 2 games later in the evening, which I'll cover here in the outro. But before we do, Hammy, where can the people find you there? Great, as well. Yeah.
You can find me. I don't stream or make videos because it's too hot to turn on a webcam right now. But you can find me everywhere at Hammy in the Wall, on Discord as well at HITW, just the acronym for it. It's easier to spell out. And yeah, you're mostly just gonna find me on Twitter, realistically. And what about you, Keon? Where can the lovely people find you?
You guys can find me Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, the usual suspects here. Keon2570 across the board. Twitter and Blue Sky for the nonsense, and then Twitch is where I do my variety streams. You'll see me on camera a lot there as well. Hammy, once again, thank you for being an awesome co-com partner with me throughout this set. You've been spectacular as well. So I just want to note that there. But before we sign off, we do have 2 games later for you later tonight. We got Division 8A back-to-back as well. Ethereal versus Flatlines to kick out the first game, and then the second game is Rainfall versus Rainfall. No, your ears are hearing that right. Literally very different titled names, yet for some reason these teams got slated together. Don't ask me why. Those 2 matchups will happen later tonight here at 8. Our coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll start with that doubleheader. So stay tuned. SplatoonTourney will still be in session tonight for Ludi tonight here in the North American audiences. But for now, we're gonna head out of here with Hamby. My name is Keon, saying thank you guys for tuning in to this Division X showdown. We will see you guys later tonight for more Ludi tonight. Until then, see you guys later.